Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
If someone like you are impressed, then this must be a good place.
I think they spend a lot of money doing things.
Yes, they did.
Somebody wrote big numbers on the check.
Yeah. Or the woods, yeah. And then I have a lower warehouse.
Okay, now everything is going to be recorded.
Recording in progress.
Okay, let's begin with our meditation. Please come, bring your body to a resting state. And gently close your eyes. With the sound of the bell disappearing, you are transcending any worries from yesterday or the past hour, the past moment, this moment. Place your hands in a comfortable way. I usually put my right hand on the left, especially on the palms, and keep my body upright. And my neck aligned with my spine, keeping a gentle smile on my lips. And naturally, my attention goes to breathing. And take a deep breath in. Bring your shoulders up, all the way up, and drop your shoulders as you breathe out. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, bring your shoulders all the way up, and drop your shoulders one more time. Now, scan your body from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet, releasing and relaxing any tension, any tightness in your muscles. Being mindful of your posture and knowing that you can adjust your body anytime during this meditation. It helps that your eyes are closed, and the eye is one of the doors where visual objects can be seen and experienced. Now your brain takes a break from visuals. The other doors also bring various sensations such as sound sensations, smells, tastes, touches, thoughts, and they come and go. One thing that is happening now, while those things come and go, is your breath. Breath is not happening in the past or the future. It's happening now and it has no color, no shape. Only the shallow and deep inhalings and exhalings. Let us bring our complete attention to the breath. With a little bit of an effort, you breathe in and breathe out, focusing on the natural rhythm of your breath. The body is breathing without you telling the body to breathe. Pause a little bit with each incoming breath and outgoing breath to be established in your attention to breathing. Let go of your past, let go of your future. Come to the now, to what is happening this moment, welcoming all experiences with no resistance. Sounds come and go, rising and falling into the void. Can you see the pause between each breath? Can you notice the pause with each inhale and exhale? The ending and starting. Now expand your awareness to the whole upper body's movements with your inhaling and exhaling experiences. Shoulders, chest, how they function, supportive of this process. all of a sudden your breath becomes very subtle. Notice that. Without looking with your eyes, you notice with your mind's eye the experience of your breath entering through your nostrils and leaving. It is a feeling. Let the body disappear. There is more tranquility. Make room for that tranquility to arise. And you stay, you keep coming back to your breath. Let go of your body and come to the mind. You become the awareness, the radiance, luminosity, whatever you can capture to be your mind, mind awareness. And notice the expansiveness beyond the body, filling this room, connecting with each other or the rest of the world with pure, bright awareness. There is some slowness and no rushing. If you are not feeling those things, that is completely okay. You come back to your breath. Calming your body, you breathe in and breathe out. Awareness that there is a body is established in you and you remain detached from this body, connecting with the quiet being like a floating cloud. Ready to go in any direction, take any shape, and absorbing the coolness, generating the coolness from within. Take a moment to cultivate gratitude in this last minute. Gratitude and contentment. Appreciating what you have, this body, these friends, the current living arrangement, friends, relatives, not asking more, thanking for what you already have, easing, softening any worries, loosen the grip of those things that you cling to. They are gone. This moment never comes again. It was a conscious moment that disappeared. In the eyes of the wisdom, eyes of wisdom, we think of the past now, we think of the future now. All we have is now. The choice to make it better is always ours. To face life with a smile and a harmonious perspective, relaxed, loving attitude. You will embrace life again as we end this meditation. Please come out of meditation. How was it? Colin, Susan, Nicole, did I talk too much?
No,
Good to hear. I always wonder.
it went very fast.
We did about 28 minutes of meditation. Maybe a little less than that, 25. How was it for you? Nice. Because you are relaxed, you are ready for what comes next. Good. Yeah.
Comes, but today's not, so I was really appreciative of that.
So you needed this. Great. Yeah. I'm going to share the screen. So the Zoom participants can see and read what we are going to discuss today. I like to call it, the glass is already broken. We are talking about us, not glasses, today. This is about understanding the five aggregates, and let's read a little bit and then we pause and discuss. The Buddha's teaching on the five aggregates, Panchaskandha, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, offers profound insight into the nature of existence. This is how we exist. They help us understand that what we consider self is a fleeting combination of impermanent processes. To deepen our understanding, the Buddha provided the powerful similes. Form, Rūpa, is like a foam ball. Pena pindupamang rupang. Have you heard that? So that is, if you have seen a rapid river and there's water flowing so fast, and on either side of the river bank you see foam collected. But when you try to see an essence in it, you don't find anything. It just evaporates, and it looks like there is some shape in it, but it always changes. At first it seems solid, but when examined, it reveals its fragility and hollowness, that it can break easily and it has no existing stem. Similarly, our physical body and the material world are ever changing without any lasting essence. We experience the material world through visual sights, sounds, smells, touches, and thoughts about them. And all of it is like a lump of foam that has no lasting essence. It always changes. Any questions on that? Why are we discussing this? Why do you think we discuss this? Anybody? Nicole?
To cultivate wisdom and to be able to like detach from things that would pull us in unfavorable directions, perhaps.
That's a beautiful answer. To cultivate wisdom, cultivate knowing. I think it's easy to ignore these things and say, I don't know about them and I don't want to understand them. But instead, here we face it and try to confront the lies that we have built around them and say, that's a lie. This is not true. And we just cultivate this understanding and wisdom. With understanding the false view, the biggest obstacle in the path, the view of a self, disappears. Otherwise, you think this form, this sight, this sound is my sound. It's mine, and I should be able to own it and ask it to behave the way I want, but it won't, unfortunately. And when we look at it this way, we can let go of it. And we can say, it definitely is a changing phenomena. It does not have any core value, and we can let go of it anytime. Second thing, feeling. Vedanā, it's called Vedanā, is like a bubble. Feelings arise and vanish quickly. Bubbles arise in water and vanish so quickly. And when we feel three kinds of feelings according to Buddhism. Pleasant bubbles, pleasant feelings, unpleasant bubbles, and neutral bubbles. They cannot be held onto as they are inherently fleeting. With pleasant bubbles, we want more pleasantness. But that wanting develops into clinging, and what comes next? Before you know, there is suffering, a ring that you never bought. Suffering. And with unpleasant bubbles, you dislike them. No, I don't want this. But what happens? There is aversion, anger, dislike. With that, you also have another version of suffering, another ring that you did not want. And with neutral feelings, you may say, oh, I don't want pleasant, I don't want unpleasant feelings, but I can choose neutral. But you don't see how the mechanism behind that neutral feeling, therefore you still hold on to it because of ignorance, not knowing the truth about the dependently arising nature of that neutral feeling. Someone who meditates deeply will cultivate so much equanimity and say, I let go of pleasant, I let go of unpleasant, and I stay in the neutral, and that is my choice. But that thinking is rooted in ignorance, not knowing how that neutral experience arise and pass away, and that too has this inherently fleeting nature, bubbly. Bubbly not in the sense like this person is bubbly, but bubble, like they don't have an essence, they just arise and disappear. And if you look you look every way possible, you cannot find a core essence, a stem in those bubbles. They arise because of conditions and they vanish, and you cannot trace it after it disappeared. So that is also what we are made of. Think about a car, and car can have many pieces, but if you break them into 5 pieces and you separate them, and you only see separate pieces, but you don't name it as the car anymore. This experience of trying to learn it is similar to that. When we put together things, then you will see, oh, this illusion that there is a car appears. It's like the self appears. And it's easy to say.
I'm in the middle of a Zoom thing. Can I call you back?
Okay, okay, good, I muted. And then number 3, perception. Perceptions, we perceive many things that are wrong. Always before verifying with the person, we perceive them to be bad or good sometimes. And then when you have a conversation with this person, then you realize, no, that person is not arrogant. I thought this person was arrogant. And then you perceive someone to be nice, and then before you know, now you see that person as an arrogant person. Like we don't always know how to perceive things. Perception, the Buddha said, with sanya, we perceive different things. We perceive color, green, shape of a lemon, different shapes. We perceive it. We have given labels. But if you give this case to a child, it doesn't have the name. It doesn't know the name of this. It tries to chew it, and then it tastes it, and then it squeezes it. So in all those experiences, it perceives it in different ways without knowing the actual name the world has given to this. And the child perceives very different things. We perceive the depth, we perceive fearful. So perception is so important in our being, and we may take it as my perception and take it personally and as part of ourself. So the Buddha said, we think it exists like a mirage. You run like a deer in the desert, runs toward water, perceiving mirage to be the place where there is water. And once the deer gets there, there's no water. And that experience is similar to what we experience. We tend to perceive things wrongly because of our inability to perceive the truth and the reality. So it tricks us into seeing permanence and solidity where there is none. We take it as solid, as something permanent, shaped by our desires and biases. We add a story to it. Two more to understand. So we learned form, the body and the visual world, and then feelings, the three kinds of feelings, Vedanā, and then the perceptions, Sanya, and then Sankharas, the mental constructs, our thoughts, our intentions, habits. We have mental habits. Before we act upon them, we come to conclusions so fast. And the Buddha said they are like the trunk of a plantain tree. You know the plantain tree, banana tree? And you peel it and peel it and peel it, and you see no stem. But take an onion, that's easier. You peel it and peel it and peel it, and you don't see a seed at the end. So these perceptions, when you peel away the layers and you find no solid core, they are conditioned, conditionally arisen, sankata. It's made and arising from past actions and past mental patterns, yet inherently empty. There's no doer doing it. It happened to us for many eons, and since when we were born, or even before we began perceiving the world, we just had perceptions of things, what you like and what you dislike. And consciousness. Let's stop there at mental formations again. Imagine it's like perceptions, they're inseparable, but again, come to a thought about, someone liking you. And right now, you think about that person. But that person has no clue that you are thinking this way. So it's not the reality. They're just doing their own thing. And you are here building a mental perception about this person that has nothing to do with the actual person. And there's a danger in doing that we create a false reality that is not true, that then there is a gap between the reality and the expectations we built. We want that person to behave the way we imagined. And when that does not happen, who's going to suffer? I am going to suffer. Because I created a mental construct that this person should behave the way I perceive. And that is definitely going to be an empty thing, like the plantain tree or an onion. There's no doer doing it, it just happens to us. And consciousness is like magic, an illusion. It creates the illusion of continuity and self. All of these, are connected with that false view of a self, but it is merely the awareness arising from contact with sensory objects, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, physical sensations, thinking, all of that. Like a magic trick, it captivates us. though it lacks any true substance. Okay, let me simplify that. You see something, and now you hear me. What happened to what you saw? It vanished. With new thing that you became conscious on, what you saw disappeared. And now you can smell something. What happened to what you saw and heard? They disappeared and new consciousness arose. And what disappeared is never going to arise again. It's always a new conscious moment that is arising. Man never steps into the same river twice. There's wisdom in there. So consciousness, there are 6 classes of consciousness: eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. But there's no attention given to it. That moment you give attention to it, or there's more conscious moments that are arising and disappearing. And you need to be in a meditative state of mind to even realize with the mind's eye that this is happening to us. And it's an illusion. And a little example, I think we used that in the meditation yesterday, that you see a dog, your dog, walk into a river, and the dog sees its own reflection in the water, and it thinks that there is another dog there, and starts wagging the tail. But you, as a human, know that that is not true. It's tricking the dog to perceive that way. And consciousness is like that. We think there is something. We think there is what we imagined, and it always tricks us. It's a magic. It's an illusion. And bring also to your mind the other metaphor I shared before, the magician in the forest, seeing a bunch of skeletons and create the animal out of it. And a tiger is born. And this tiger decides to eat the magician. And this is what happens to us. We create an illusion here, and it vexates us. It's so tiring to us. And we didn't know that we were doing that to us. We built a language around it, and we try to justify things with the language. And it's so hard to undo it unless you take a break, meditate, and see conditionality arising and passing away. Okay? So, the Buddha, there's a way he is described here, kinsman of the sun, Aditya Bandhu. Aditya is the sun because it gives the light. So the Buddha is the light. He used these similes to highlight how all things arise and cease due to conditions. Seeing the conditionality makes us free from thinking this way, and we become unconditioned. But not like we flip ourselves and become different. It's just that we have true knowledge. And arising of true knowledge is so rare. And asankata state, unconditioned state, ultimately arises with this understanding. And the Buddha, when he became the Buddha, he taught abandoning the extremes and then coming to the middle path, not the middle path, and nobody became, except one person. One person understood it, but not became completely enlightened. And he had to teach these 5 things, the non-self nature of all these 5 things, and then they got it. They were like, oh, nobody has ever taught it this way. So this became something so rare at the time. And now they cannot unsee it after seeing it. They were heavily meditating, but they could not just unpack the whole experience and see it this way. So let's look at this other part. The glass is already broken. Consider this famous reflection. The glass is already broken. When you drink from a glass, you know it may someday crack or shatter. Understanding the truth brings peace, right? We don't have to react. You enjoy the glass while it lasts. But when it breaks, you are not overwhelmed by grief because you have already accepted its impermanence, the truth. In the same way, well, it's hard, easier than said, because if somebody known to you goes through some suffering, of course, you are going to feel sadness. But knowing the truth, it helps a little bit, and cultivating that awareness about the truth helps greatly. In the same way, the five aggregates are impermanent. Seeing them as inherently fragile and changing helps us let go of attachment. This understanding allows us to appreciate life without clinging, knowing that all things will pass. But this does not mean that we must be sad or be depressed. That's not the point. Just knowing the truth helps us to just let go of all the opinions and conceptualizing in a way that gives suffering to us, and just relax and wait patiently and live your life. Clay pot. Imagine a clay pot. Form is the clay, as fragile as form. Feelings are the sensations of touch, smooth or rough, fleeting like bubbles. Perception recognizes it as a pot, though it is merely a mirage created by our minds. We labeled it as a pot, but somebody else will say it's a bell. They can use it for, as storage, something. Mental formations arise when we think. This pot is useful, layered, but empty like a plantain trunk. Consciousness is the awareness of the pot. A magic-like experience we cling to. When the pot breaks, suffering arises because of our attachment. But when we see its impermanence, its brokenness, even before it shatters, we release that attachment. That's the whole point, letting go of craving. Consider a puppet. Form is its wooden frame, hollow and fragile like form. Feelings are the emotional responses it evokes, vanishing like bubbles. Perception sees it as a dancer, a mirage created by expectation. Mental formations drive the puppet's movements, layered yet without a core, like a plantain trunk. Consciousness animates the puppet, appearing magical, but ultimately an illusion. The puppet, like the self, is just a collection of conditional parts. When we see through this illusion, the suffering caused by clinging begins to dissolve. By understanding the aggregates and reflecting on their impermanence, using these similes, we come closer to seeing reality as it is. This clear vision brings freedom from craving and the peace of knowing the glass was always already broken. That's a good place to stop, and I can take some questions if you have any, or feedback or thoughts. I went a little fast toward the end because there's a program at 7. And I wanted, it's not in this room, but I thought you got the point. Did you?
Yeah.
Yes, Susan.
Yeah. Is this recording available to us with the text and everything?
Yes, I will post everything to our YouTube channel. That's
Okay.
why we record for people who can't make it to this moment. And I know there are people who watch it later. And I post the text in the description of that YouTube video.
Okay. Thank you. There was a lot in there, and
Yes. Yes.
different new ways of looking at things.
That's absolutely true. That this is not the conventional way of talking about things. But yes, there is, with what you said, the Buddha said we must use language like I, me, myself for the convenience of existing in the world. We shouldn't say these five aggregates went to school. It'll be so funny to say that. Just live the world as a normal being. It's like before enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water, and after enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water. Like just you see the inside and out, and you become an ordinary person, and nobody can tell that you are any different. But the way you hold things in your mind starts to change, and it has a liberating insight and effect on you. And you will not hold anger, hatred, delusion, frustration, jealousy the same way. When you put all of them into this view, this wisdom that you learned today, and you have been learning, like you can't take it in one go. It's they don't come to us when we are frustrated. That's the problem. They come after we have reacted. Yes, Kelly.
When you accept that the glass is already broken, you can be grateful for the time that you have with it.
Absolutely. There you go. There's gratitude in knowing that we knew it, and that what the time we had with it is excellent.
Same goes for people.
Same goes for people. They can change any time. And you know it. And you are grateful. You can't hate. Like if you truly loved a person, you cannot hurt them. It's impossible. That's the teenager's mindset. They try to kill that person because the love is not reciprocated. That's selfish. Right? If you truly loved, you should be happy that they do whatever they want to do, and you give complete freedom, knowing that, what you built about them is just five aggregates that had to show this true nature about it. And you are grateful for any friendship, any moment they shared with your life. Same goes to judging other people, not knowing, the true side of their story, right? Yeah. Colin, say something.
I was just curious if there's like a particular sutta or so that or other sort of text that might be a place just to also like where it's a good place where the Buddha like explicates this.
The second sermon of the Buddha, the teaching on non-self characteristic, and middle length discourses 148. So you can look at both of these, and also just Google Five Aggregates in suttas. You will find millions of results.
Thank you.
Yeah, people love to research on them, but they don't like to practice it. There's a lot of scholarship on them. It looks fancy to study these, But practice is one thing, studying is another. Really.
Applying to those
Applying, yes.
daily life is the
It's
biggest
it's
thing.
almost impossible, right? We forget. We go the habitual way of reacting and yeah, yes, yes. We regret. We regret, yeah. All right. It's 7 and let's share merits. Please bring your palms together and join with me with this wish. May suffering ones be suffering free and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect you, protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for coming today. And I'll be doing, I think, 3 more programs. And the December 12th is when I plan to start traveling. So come back and sign up to these next 3 events. And I'll be gone for a longer time, like a year and a half. For some immigration purposes. But I will see if I can offer teachings online, and you will know in the next 3 events. Okay? All right. Have a beautiful evening, and until next time.